But before we do, I just want to give everyone a reminder that we're only a couple runs away from that Wario Land hard mode run. You're going to want to see that. So make sure to donate for that. Anyway, let's check in with our runners now. Runner.
All right.
Singular.
All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Power with Pride. And my name is mchan338. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Pretends to Know. I will also be commentating on this run as well. We've both ran this game for quite a while.
All right. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to go ahead and do this little quick setup here. Okay. Hold on. I need to hear. I need to hear the sound real quick. Okay. All right. So what I just did there was, if you heard that nabbit sound, it basically confirms I did something right. One of the things that they added in this version of New Super Luigi U is that if you press the jump button mid-air, you do a mid-air spin. I prefer to do it with the trigger buttons only, so I just So by doing that setup that I just did there, I basically just disabled it. So, all right. All right. So I don't have the tracker up, but which character am I playing as?
By quite a wide margin. The people wanted to see Toadette, so we're gonna get.
Oh yes! Thank you everyone for donating for Toadette. We have a speed run.
You made the right choice.
That's right. Okay, so we'll explain the character differences later. Anyway, there's a 2-minute intro cutscene, and time is going to be after that cutscene. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want a countdown?
All right. Well. Time is after the intro, like when I start moving on the map. So it's going to be about 2 minutes from now.
Okay, so null on that countdown then.
Yeah, I'll let you know when. So here we go. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is mchan338, and welcome to New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. 2 years ago, in Power with Pride 2018, I ran the original New Super Luigi U, and it was on the 80% category. And now we are running the Switch version that came out 2 years ago, and I'm running the All Castles category. So. All Castles differs from 80%. It is twice as long as 80%, and I also think it's twice as fun. All Castles is the workless category, where in 80% you skip worlds 2, 3, 4, and 6. In this category, we do all 8 worlds done as fast as possible. You're going to be seeing a lot more content in this than what you saw 2 years ago. So the difference between this and the original versions, well, there's not really any major changes at all. All the things that you're going to be seeing this run can be done in the original New Super Luigi U game. This game also ported New Super Luigi U, which is the version that I'm playing on today. And so in New Super Luigi U, we have a 100-second time limit for every level, and all the levels are a lot more difficult, and it's also a shorter game in general. Yeah, so time's about to begin really soon. And so the first level, 1-1, I'm going to be getting the main power-up of the game, which is the Super Acorn. And it's going to allow me to turn to a squirrel and fly through levels. And that is going to be the main power-up that I'm using out the run. Okay, ready?
Okay, yeah. The quickest way to summarize the Super Acorn is Nintendo fixed the Super Cape from Super Mario World, and it's still one of the most broken items in the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. That is 1-1. Level. As you can see, Toadette actually has, because Toadette is actually the easy mode of the game. So if you're playing as Toadette or Nabbit, you get 100 extra seconds. So every level you have 200 seconds to go through each level.
We probably won't need them. Something has gone wrong if we do.
Yeah. All right. So on the back here, I'm going to get the star. And stars make you invincible, as well as give you an extra level. And then I'm going to hit this next block right, star, only that chain, in order to go through that. In order to go through that whole level. I'm actually going to wait here because I made one. And when you end a level with a double digit at the end of the level, then you get fireworks, which loses 15 seconds. So I was actually on pace to get a 77 there, which would have lost me 50 seconds right off the bats. So losing a second there is better than losing 15.
Yeah, you want to avoid fireworks as much as possible. You'll also get a item after the fireworks, which can be useful, but none of them are enough to warrant the time lost to retrieve them. Yeah, this fortress is a quick vertical level, tower. Quick vertical level. Mchan does a quick ground pound there so he can get into the door without having to wait for the dry bones to get out of the way. And then we'll fight this Boom Boom, which, if you know what Super Mario 3 players think of Boom Boom, it's not very high. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. So all you do is jump on Boom Boom 3 times. It was not a choice on the because it doesn't die in this game. He can run through enemies.
Mchan, you're cutting out, at least on my end. Is anyone else having this problem?
Yeah, it'll hopefully just balance itself out in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I.
Okay.
What do you okay. You good?
So normally you use. Oh gosh, this is not good. I'm being heard, right?
Every fourth word or so.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'll try to explain what Mchan was saying about Nabbit really quick while we hope that it balances itself out. Nabbit can be faster because he's invincible to enemies. The only way for him to die is to either be crushed or fall into a hazard, such as a bottomless pit. However, though, the majority of shortcuts in this game and major skips require a flying item. So if you spend, and it also takes a total of 6 seconds to switch back and forth between Nabbit. So because the majority of the skips are faster flying than as Nabbit, there is there's less opportunity for Nabbit to truly shine without making a time loss altogether. Also, the people asked for Toadette, so the people are getting Toadette. Okay. up on the first boss here. Chan, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. We're coming up on the first boss here. It's funny. Fortunately, not quite as trolly as in Super Mario Maker 2. Important thing here is you got to make a relatively tight jump, because a recurring theme with all the bosses is that if they get away from you, it becomes extremely difficult to get back on cycle with them. Lemmy, though, is first Koopling, and that's so not a big problem.
Yeah, every boss, if you fight them all the same way each time, then they're fairly consistent. There are a few exceptions later on, which we'll go over as they come. All right, so that is World 1, and now we're moving on to World 2. So the first level is 2-1, and something interesting about 2-1 is that in the normal run, you actually play as Nabbit, even though it's slower. But there's a cutscene at the end of the level that does not play at all if you use Nabbit. And that's because Toad's gonna in that cutscene, Toad's gonna let you know that that Nabbit stole their stuff, and we have to get it back. But if you're playing as Nabbits, then that cutscene the game just decides that they don't want two Nabbits on screen, so they just decided to skip that cutscene completely. Which is a free 30-second save normally, but since we're only using Toadette, we're going to be seeing that cutscene.
Yeah, this will also be the only time we see Nabbit. To chase after him, you get an extremely powerful item, but collecting that item takes more time than any level it would take to use it. So,
yeah, no, it does not matter where you grab the flagpole. You can actually grab anywhere in the flagpole, even the very top, and then the flagpole animation is still the same.
Yeah. The reason for that is because the character won't get off of the flagpole until the Bowser flag has fully been lowered, so it doesn't matter where you land on the flagpole. That same time, it's always the same time.
Yeah, but an optimization I am doing is I'm actually turning backwards right before I hit the flagpole, and that's so Toadette doesn't turn around to get off the flagpole. All right, so this level is really difficult when you're not using Nabbit, and that's because it's a dark level, so it's kind of hard to see enemies. So you just kind of have to study the level really well.
Yeah, make sure you and the game don't get into a disagreement on hitboxes. Game always wins.
All right, so that's 2-3. So now we're off to 2-Tower, which is probably one of my favorite levels to do in the run. It's not really new anymore, but it's somewhat recent, where the ending cycle is actually like really tight, and it saves a few seconds. So we're gonna see if I can get it.
Yeah, the theme of this level is opening the way with spinning wheels.
All right, here we go. Got it.
Yeah. That narrow opening is probably a little tighter than it even looked, and that looked really tight. But yeah, here's Boom Boom. Hey-Man's gonna put magic on him. Not sure what that's gonna do because same fight as the first one.
Yeah, so Kamek basically powers up Boom Boom to make Boom Boom do something different each time, but no, not good enough. Alright, so now we are off to what is the worst part of the run. So in this bridge section, there is a Goomba, a Fire Burrow, and an Acorn, and we have to get through this bridge without hitting any of them. We can get the Acorn if we want. It's not a big deal. It's only a 6 seconds loss if we get the Acorn. But whether or not we run into the Fire Burrow or the Goomba is RNG. They move completely at random. And so we just gotta hope and pray that they don't run into us.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
And if he does, it'll be a little mini boss fight that is really annoying because the prize you get at the end is not worth it.
Yeah. Alright, so we got the Acorn. Oh, okay. So if I was gonna run to any of the enemies, it would be the Fire Burrow is usually better because it's just one Fire Burrow and that's it. So we get the propeller right there. We don't need it at all.
Yeah.
And now I just gotta hope that I don't run to the Goomba.
Yeah. Acorn is superior to the propeller. Sorry, original Wii game fans.
Okay, there we go. So unfortunately, it is a 20-second loss, and this is definitely one of the most frustrating sections when you're grinding world record attempts. But it is what it is, and we just have to roll with it. All right, so in this level, there is a specific cycle that I have to make in order to make this jump right there. That jump is as hard as it looks. And that's actually a common theme in this game, where a lot of things I'm actually doing is hard and they look, and that's because in New Super Luigi, the movement is actually really difficult to do. Most of the time when you're playing the game, one of the hardest things that people complain about is the movement. You slip a lot, you jump higher, your jumps are really floaty. In general, it's just a very difficult game. So it takes a lot of practice to get good at the movement. So I'm actually going to do this level again, even though in all castles it seems kind of weird. But trust me, this will make sense later.
Yeah.
Well, while we're repeating this level, is this a good time for some donations?
Yes.
Yeah, about one.
Okay, we have $50 from Garby that says, "I don't want a sad Shasta."
Yes.
So that's one.
You guys should definitely donate for the hard mode incentive for Wario Land 4. It's a really insane run. All right, so that's the secret exit for 2-4. And again, I'll explain more about why I'm doing this later. So now we're gonna move on to 2-5. 2-6. So earlier in 1-3, it introduced Rolling Hills terrains, and now we're back to Rolling Hills terrain in this level. And you see a lot of benefits here in this level where whenever I'm spin jumping off of anything that's moving, you actually preserve that momentum, especially when you have the Acorn. So as you can see, with all these spins, I'm actually flying really fast.
Yeah, it's one of the few exploits in the game. One of the few exploits in the game, because this is Nintendo actually put in a lot of effort to making sure that this game had as few exploits as possible.
So that was not something that was supposed to happen, but thankfully I improvised that pretty well. And next up is Tadashi Castle. Not really a whole lot to say in this level. In the 100% category, there is a lot more to talk about here, but here it's just pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this is an example of where the Acorn's going to truly shine, because we're gonna fly over the entire level pretty much.
Anytime I'm entering a door, I'm entering the door through the middle, and that is because if I enter the door through either the left or the right side, Toadette will just walk to the middle and then into the door. So that does waste some time when you're doing real-time attempts. In-game time entering from the very left side is faster.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm actually going to fly over here. I'm going to take the save because I do not like how I set that up. So if you have the acorn, you can fly over that giant pokey to hit Morton early. Normally, you're supposed to wait for Morton to hammer all these pokies, and then you can have an opportunity to hit him. But you can hit him early with the acorn, or you can damage boost through the pokey, which does save time, but it is slower overall because that means you have to re-equip acorn, and re-equipping acorn is slower than how much time the damage boost would save.
Yeah, and you also got to be careful because that hammer does have a hitbox. So
yeah, it's a lot bigger than it looks.
Yeah. If you're in a bad position, if it's in a bad position when you go over the pokey's head, you will hit it and it will hurt.
Mm. Hey, pretends world 3 or world 4?
We always do world 4 first. Let's do world 3 first for once.
All right. Okay. So over here we have a choice between worlds 3 and 4. As Toadette, it actually doesn't matter which world you do first, but for everybody else, you want to go to world 4 first because it actually saves about roughly 8 seconds to do world 4 first, and then world 3. But I guess now would be a time to talk about the differences of why Toadette differs from every other category, and why earlier in the beginning I was really excited to play as Toadette. So, Toadette casually is easy mode, where Toadette she slips less, so it makes quick turning a lot easier with Toadette. But also, if you're familiar with the penguin suit in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, then Toadette actually has the penguin physics no matter what power-up she has. So you're going to be seeing in the very next level how much time Toadette saves over everybody else in this level alone.
Yep. For everyone else, you have to get a baby Yoshi because it has unique swimming physics that work, but it's completely unnecessary with Toadette's swimming physics.
Yep.
Also, to briefly mention, anyone who's also remembers the viral Twitter thread with the Super Crown. Super Crown is slower than the Super Acorn. So if Peachette shows up in this run, it's because there was an unfortunate accident.
Yeah, but hopefully the run doesn't go that bad.
Yeah.
So that was 3-2. So with those, if you're just doing this level without anything, it would be 20 seconds slower. So this is a huge time save.
Yeah.
All right, so the next level, 3-Ash Tower, is a very big example of why you should play as Nabbit. So there are these skewers on a cycle, and we have to wait for basically a lot of cycles. So, but this is part of the skill right here, is waiting.
Yeah, if you're Nabbit, Nabbit doesn't have a hitbox with those skiers, so he can just jump through the level.
Okay, that Firebro was nice. That Firebro can be really mean at the end, but he let me through.
That was very nice of him. So that's a theme with all the different Hammer Bro variants that we're going to come across is hope that they're nice.
All right, so another Boom Boom fight. So you can read a donation.
Okay, let's talk a little more about that Shasta incentive coming up, because we have another $10 from Scala Kitty. I only have a little to give, but I want Shasta to show us that Wario Land run. Well, it's real appreciated, Scala. Let's get there. We got this run and the next run. We can make it. Also, we just hit 4K while I was reading that donation.
Yes.
But we'll, do I have time for more, or should we save the rest for later?
Maybe one more.
Yeah,
One more?
yeah.
Make
one more.
it short if you can.
Okay, we have $50 from White Lightning, which says, "Hey Mchan, good luck on your run and get good RNG in the desert." Message may have come a little late.
Thank you, Lightning.
Okay. Alright, yeah.
All right, so there's two really scary jumps towards the end of this level right here. We're gonna see if I can get it.
Yeah. The
Okay, that's one,
there's one.
and that's two.
And, yeah, jumping between that boo ring is just as scary as you think it is.
That's right. All right, so now we have 3-3 and 3-4. In older routes, 3-4 used to be done because it was a safer level, but it was also like 4 seconds slower. We do 3-3 now.
It's pretty straightforward. The biggest concern is if you land on one of these water spouts at a bad cycle, it'll despawn and you'll fall to your death. But it's pretty hard to do that with the acorn.
Yeah. So right there, that looked like a mistake. But the fastest time you can get at the end of this level is 77. So that right there was just a bit of a slowdown, so that way I can avoid fireworks right there. There is a much harder cycle that I can make in this level, but not only it's super difficult, but you get a 77 at the end. So it's in general not worth going for.
Yeah.
All right, so this is another swimming level, 3-5. This one's a vertical swimming level. And if I am really good, then I could get an 81 at the end of this level. But it's also like really hard because your mashing has to be really good.
Yeah. The theme of this level is to dodge the dragon eels, which if you don't know what a dragon eel is, you're gonna. If you're fast and it's the things that come on and they chase you. Fortunately, Toadette can outrun them real easy, so
yeah. All right, so now we're at 3 Castle, and this is actually another level where Toadette does save about a few seconds over everybody else. You cannot carry a baby Yoshi at all in this level, and there is a water section that we go through, and so because Toadette swims really fast, this one room that we're about to go through will save about maybe 3-ish seconds.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right there, there was. There is a way where you can fit through that space, but without getting hit. But it's like super risky.
Yeah, not marathon safe is the way to sum it up. Right, and Larry, like the other Koopalings, if you know where he's going to come out of his shell, which we do, he's pretty easy to take care of.
The second hit right here is free. All you do is just stand there and let him hit and let him get to you.
Third one, you have to do a little dodge work, but also for those who don't know, Larry's theme theme in this game, and I think some of the others, is jumping. So if he started jumping, it could have been rough catching him. So having a stun like that was fast.
All right, so that is World 3 completed. And since we did this first, we are going to go back and go to World 4. Past the castle, there is an airship, which we're not going to be doing at all. Spoilers. Yeah. You may think that it's faster just on the natural route of the game, but you will not be seeing it. And there's a very good reason why we'll talk about it at the end of the world.
Yeah. For now, though, we're in the ice world, which it's pretty straightforward. One place where Toadette will shine is she doesn't slip as much. That's right.
Toadette does not have ice. Hold on. Okay, not bad. That could have been. That was really scary because the bruisers and the barrels that they punch at you both do not have favorable hitboxes, so that was really close.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, that's probably the only technical level of this world. Normally in the normal version of the category, you actually play as Nabbit throughout the entire world. But when you don't play as Nabbit in World 4 at all the levels, well, most of the levels have significantly increased difficulty. So in this level, I am going to slow down at the end for about a second, and that's because this is another level where if you complete it as fast as you can, you'll get a 77.
Yeah. Otherwise, another place where the acorn shines. Fly over the penguins. Fly to the end of the level, and having had to deal with those penguins, flying over them feels great.
Thank you to whoever gifted subs in the chat.
Well, that's a lot of gift subs.
Yeah. So I actually slowed down there just for a slight bit because if I just go straight on, I will run to the Cooligan, which will initiate a fight.
Yeah. Goal of this tower is to avoid icicles. Pretty straightforward. You can also slip through the crack there at the end, so that way you don't have to take the elevator and just wall jump to the boss.
Yeah, it saves like a few frames, but I like to think it's worth it. So. All right, so this boom boom fight is exactly the same as the boom boom fight in World 3. If you want to read like one donation, you can.
Sure thing. We have $5 from Cheers to Moon. No comment, but thank you. And we have $250 from Fig, who gave us a rainbow flag in heart emojis. So thank you for that very generous donation. And with that, we are way over halfway there to getting Shasta that run. So
yep.
you know what to do.
All right. So at the beginning of the level, right there, I did a jump right at the beginning. Even though Toadette does not have ice physics, she still decelerates slowly while she's on ice. And so just doing a jump right there just eliminates that really slow acceleration. And nice, we got a 79. 79 basically indicates I played the level very perfectly, which is really hard to do because you have to going through all those piranha plants is actually like really precise.
Yeah, a lot of jumps.
And so now the next level is another situation where I have to slow down for about a second. in order to avoid getting a 77 at the end of the level. Getting that acorn right there seems like it's slow, but because you have to pass by that ring multiple times, it ends up not being faster to avoid that acorn every single time you pass by that ring.
Okay, and then got bonsai bills in this level, which, you know, jump over them. I guess fun fact is one of the squirrels in this level is carrying a super acorn. So if you've lost one recently, you can get a new acorn and keep things going.
Yeah, and it's especially helpful for Toadette because Toadette actually does not have very many acorn power-ups throughout the run. Alright, so this level is really hard as Toadette, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah. You'll figure out why real quick.
Okay, that's one, that's two. Alright, those were really hard jumps that I had to make. Okay, and then this last part I cannot make, so I have to slow down right here so I don't get hit by this boomerang, and we're through.
Yeah, yeah, you know, simple, straightforward platforming.
Alright, so once again, just like earlier, I'm going to wait for just a little bit, and that's because, and again, for the same reason, if I just go straight on, I'll run to a Cooligan, which initiates a fight. You don't want to fight the Cooligans, they have really bad hitboxes.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is a speedrunner level, as I like to call. This is basically the goal of the level here, is to run past all these thwomps over here.
Yeah. I'm certain there's been plenty of these sorts of levels on Super Mario Maker. Quick word of warning, unlike Mario Maker, do not spin jump on these thwomps.
Alright, so we're off to the Wendy fight now. Wendy isn't that bad. There are a few spots where if you're not ready as to when she gets up from her shell, then it could sometimes mess things up. But other than that, not a huge deal.
Yeah, and then only other thing you got to be super cautious about is those icicles do have hitboxes on the ceiling. So if you jump too high, you will lose your power up.
Okay. All right, so now's a good time to kind of talk about this. So completing both Worlds 3 and 4 will take you to the next level, which is 5-Airship. However, you also saw that I completed 2-4 twice, getting both exits from 2-4. And so this is where that secret exit comes into play. So I'm going to backtrack all the way back to World 2 in order to do the secret level, and that's because 5-Airship has a really long cutscene at the beginning of the level. It is a really long auto-scroller followed by a really painful boss fight, and then a really long cutscene at the end. And so overall, it's just not fun to do. And so by backtracking all the way up here and then doing the secret level of World 2, it still saves time over doing 5-Airship.
5-Airship is the longest level in New Super Luigi U, even without taking into account all the airship, all the cutscenes surrounding it.
Yeah, so what we have instead here is just a really short level right here. Spin jumping off of that last ladder right there saves a few frames over just flying up to the pipe. And so there we go. And so this here saves about a minute. All right, so up until this point, the routing through the run is pretty straightforward. But this is the point where all castles starts to get somewhat interesting. So we're approaching World 5, and World 5 is actually the shortest world in the run, even though it doesn't look like it, because the normal path to World 5 goes through 3 sections. But we actually do 4 levels here in this run. So we're going to do 5-1. And then we are going to do 5-2. Normally in the any percent run, we do 5-3. And so, and then from that point, the any percent route through World 5 is actually like significantly different than what we do here. Because in here, we have to get to the castle as fast as we can. Whereas in 80%, there is a secret that'll take you straight to World 7.
So yeah, and then first level's pretty straightforward. It's swinging on vines and making sure to swing on them and not fly into a piranha.
Yeah. So I slowed down just a little bit there. Also, making sure I don't slow down too much because I am trying to fight for a 78 at the clock, which I did just get. So there we go. That level is actually pretty precise when you're not using Nabbit.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to go to 5-2. So the normal path through World 5 normally is you do either 5-2 or 5-3, and then you do 5-tower. There's a really difficult skip in the tower, and then there's a ghost house after that, and then a choice between 2 of the hardest levels in the game, and then onto the third section. And so doing this path right here skips doing all of that.
Yeah. So yeah, Nintendo was nice and put a secret exit in World 5 to skip most of it.
Yep. So here's the secret exit, and this is gonna skip a lot of World 5. So the next level is 5-6, and 5-6 has a recent optimization where German runner BlueX2 actually found out that you can actually slide down these wood platforms that are slanting downwards, and you actually gain enough speed to actually get a 79. So it saves about a second over what used to be done. Unfortunately, it does make the very last cycle really difficult to make, but we'll see what happens.
Also gotta make sure you don't get hit with a boom boom. Not a boom boom, a
Sumo brother.
Sumo brother.
Okay, nice. We made that. That is really difficult, and so there we go. All right, so next up is 5 Castle. Pretty straightforward. However, this will be the first instance where the boss is not super consistent. So we'll see once you'll see once we get there. This could range from. This can be a range of 5 seconds between a gain or loss in a run.
Yeah. One thing that you can do, that is not going to happen, is you can speed up the cycles by taking a damage boost, but a marathon, keeping the acorn is more important.
Yeah, and there's actually a recently... it's not new, but it was actually found out quite recently, where you can actually hit Koopa while he's on the ceiling. It's very difficult to do, and I will not be doing it. It does save a lot of time if you can get it, but not today.
Yeah. What makes Iggy Koopa the most difficult is before the fight starts is gets a chance to go get onto the ceiling and start a cycle. The reason the damage boost I mentioned is because generally the one optimization you can do is if you take a hit from all his magic bolts, he comes off the ceiling when all his magic is despawned. Then after that, it's just...
Oh, that's nuts. Okay. Somehow I just kind of lost count as to how many times he goes into the pipe. But oh well, we have. This is why we have backup acorns.
Yeah. It's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah. So yeah, semi random boss, which is unfortunate, but we just got to deal with it.
Well, Iggy wouldn't be the worst Koopling if he didn't also live up to it in a marathon as well.
Yeah, so earlier I did pick up an acorn in World 1, which loses about 8 seconds in a world record attempt, but again, if the run goes horribly long, we have that extra bit of safety. But I mean, so far the run hasn't actually been that terrible.
Yeah, end of World 5 for first damage is an excellent pace in a marathon.
All right, so now we're up to World 6, Rock Candy Mines, and this is in my opinion, my least favorite world in the run. There's a lot of levels are very difficult to do and very technical. And so as a result, anyone who watches me do runs, this is like my most practiced world whenever I'm practicing for attempts. So the next level is straightforward. So if you have any donations throughout the level, then you can go ahead and read some before the next level.
Oh, I've got some donations. We have $20 from Anisep. No comment, but thank you. That went to Wario. And we also have $350 from Storm Vision. Thank you so much. The comment is a woo, which I assume that was paying the $350 fine for the no woo. So thank you. With that, Wario Land is met, and we will be seeing that hard mode.
Nice. Thank you guys for donating.
Yes.
Keep donating. There's a lot more cool incentives coming up.
And also, it's a cool cause.
Do we still have a little more time?
Yes.
Yeah, just one quick one.
Yeah, quick one.
Not a donation, but I want to say that the next incentive after is the Final Fantasy Legends 2 Good Taste, Bad Taste Bid War. Now, Scala has said that Bad Taste is winning, but Scala has said that we have some cool pride palettes for Good Taste. So we probably want to see both. That's a rolling incentive, so we probably want to even those out a bit so we can see them go back and forth during the run.
All right. Okay, so Pretends, you want to explain this next trick coming up?
Yes, this is probably the envy of many Kaizo players. What mchan's going to be doing is he's going to be clipping through a Kaizo block. There were 2 Kaizo blocks in that area that he just passed through, but when he hit the first one, it raised Toadette's hitbox just enough to where when he did the move with the Super Acorn, he got he missed the hitbox to activate the second one and was able to slip through it. Also, yep. Boom Boom has wings now.
Yeah, and so that trick actually saves like 6 seconds because I don't have to wait for the grolls to open up a path for me to go through. And so that was Boom. And so that Boom Boom fight. Boom Boom has wings. He drank a lot of Red Bull. But that is actually the last Boom Boom fight of the run.
Like the others, it's pretty straightforward. It has the most variance in terms of getting the first hit. So, and then this next level is going to be a vertical level, and mchan's going to be trying to dodge a bunch of rolling spikes from.
Okay, nice. The optimization through that level is somewhat recent. It's not new anymore, but it is a fairly recent optimization.
Yeah.
It actually made this level a lot more fun to do. Before that optimization, this was like one of my least favorite levels to do.
Yeah, those rolling spikes are a pretty tight squeeze.
So now we're going to be doing these. We're now going to be getting the secret exit here in 6-5. It may not look like it's faster, or at least this route through World 6 may not look like it's faster, because there's actually a secret exit earlier in 6 Tower that takes you to a level, a secret level. It's not a secret level according to the game, but it'll take you to the second tower quicker. But that is an auto scroller, and we don't do that level at all.
Can you even reach the switch that you're aiming for through that level?
No.
Yeah,
so you take a much different path through World 6 with that route. Like you do the same amount of levels throughout World 6, but that route is not faster.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason mchan secret exit instead of the normal exit is he wants to keep the red blocks extended, because he'll be able to get to the castle here faster after this second tower.
All right, so there is it's not a very new strat, but it recently got implemented in runs. Previously used to be an IL strat because it was that difficult. But I'm going to try and knock over the Sumo Bro as early as I can, and this will save a lot of time if I can get this. Let's see how this goes. All right, we got it. So the other strat as Toadette was really annoying because one thing I didn't talk about is that Toadette's hitbox is actually different than the other characters, and it's different enough so that this fight is supposed to be harder with Toadette, but that strat right there, I don't have to worry about the Sumo Bro's really bad hitbox.
Yeah, getting that early hit saves a lot of time and difficulty in the fight altogether.
Exactly, and it's really it's really precise because you have to be very quick about it. Okay, so now this is the reason why we got the secret exit of 6-5, and that is so I could keep that switch on, the red switch on, so that I could actually reach the back entrance of the castle. This is a very unique level to where there's actually 2 ways to do this level. The front entrance obviously is significantly slower, and as you just see, that back entrance, it was 6 seconds long. And then off to the boss. So this ends up saving a significant amount of time over the other route of World 6.
And you also skip a different level altogether. And when it comes to Roy, you'll see him fire a bullet and then get stun locked. Yeah,
and interesting enough, this would be your favorite Koopa in the fight if you're running the 100% category, because you actually fight him twice, just because of how the star coins are positioned in this level. But there we go. That is World 6. And so now this is the part where the run meets up with the any percent run, as we're heading into World 7.
Yeah. If anyone...
What? Go on.
No, I was going to say, if anyone who's seen the any percent category of this game, this is where everything's going to start looking familiar again.
Yeah. Alright, so the first level is 7-1, and it is by far my least favorite level of the entire game. And so this will probably be the only time where I call quiet. so I could focus. There's a really difficult jump towards the end of the level. So let's see how this goes. What makes this level difficult is that you're supposed to use a penguin suit and then ride all these frozen fuzzies through the level. But obviously we're not going to be doing that. Okay, so the jump is coming up. And we got it. All right, awesome. So, what makes that jump hard is that you have that is a 2-frame window. If you're on that block for more than 2 frames, then it's really easy for you'll just start slipping, and you cannot jump at all while you have the slipping animation on, and so you'll just either get a really late jump, or you just won't get a jump, and then you'll end up dying.
Yeah.
So that's also very difficult to do.
And as a trivia note, if you lose your flying item in there, you can't eat. There's not even, as far as I know, a super crown to rely on for backup to at least get out of the level flying. So you're stuck on casual strats.
Yep.
And then this level, we just fly over it.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. So the next level is probably the second hardest level to do in the run. Not necessarily because it's like super difficult, but we'll let you see.
Yeah. Boss requires intense, frame perfect inputs.
Yes. Okay, so that part right there is a little bit difficult to do. All right, so we got there in a pretty optimal cycle. This next part here is kind of have to wait for this thing to go up while at the same time avoiding these fire bros. You can kill them if you'd like. Sometimes if they're in a very awkward position, you don't want to. So in this case, they're not in a good position. It doesn't really matter if you kill them or not. Yeah. It's just as long as you go through this whole level while keeping your acorn is the most important part.
Yeah. Only reason to go after those fire bros is if you're tempted by the coins.
And okay. All right, so the boss of the level is Kamek. Kamek is a great boss. Fantastic boss. 0 RNG. Nothing can ever go wrong. No one's ever lost a run to this guy.
And that's the story we're sticking to.
Okay, that was awkward. Please don't do that. Oh, okay. Oh, actually, let's get the backup. Nope, didn't get the backup either. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we got the backup. But we lost our acorn in the process. So now we have to do this whole fight and just pray. This fight is, as you can see, this fight is awful without an acorn.
It is complete. Yeah, right. It is complete RNG.
Yeah, it's completely RNG. It's basically a guessing game. You just pick a side and you hope that Kamek is at that side. So it's pretty much a coin flip throughout the fight. So 50 minutes into the run, you have to rely on a coin flip that determines your world record, and that's just what happens.
There would have been a saving grace because after the second hit, Kamek always spawns in the same place. Unfortunately, without an acorn, mchan couldn't reach it. So he had to go through the third cycle. This level, he's going to try to get to the secret exit, and he's going to stall a little bit because he doesn't want to get fireworks.
Yeah, the fastest time you get at the end of this level is an 88. So what you just saw right there is I waited and then ran straight to the flagpole. Alright, so this secret exit saves a lot of World 7, because otherwise if I were to continue to the normal path of World 7, there is an RNG section, so there's more RNG in this world. You have a choice of two somewhat difficult levels, depending on which RNG you're given, and then a really long auto scroller, and then the castle. So that secret exit saves quite a bit of World 7.
Yep.
So this level has 2 of these giant moving blocks, and so you can kind of play slow because you have to wait for these to pass you. For the second part of the level, I am going to slow down, and that is so I can get a better cycle with the fire bars at the end.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tight trick.
Okay, there we go. So that is a lot more precise than it looks. Otherwise, it's like really easy to, if you make a mistake, you just get hit, and you don't want to get hit in this level.
Because Acorn saves a lot of time.
All right, so Ludwig. Ludwig will clone himself, and you have to guess which Ludwig is the correct Ludwig, which is the one that shoots the most fireballs. However, with the Acorn, I can skip that altogether.
And then it's just a matter of waiting for him to come out of his shell, and we know where that's going to be.
Yep. Just count the 3, and shouts to E. Waller, who's probably the only person that I know who kind of waits at the right on first thing instead of the left. It doesn't really matter. Just kind of a fun thing. But the next level is 7-Dash Airship. And so normally the first part of 7-Dash Airship, there is you have to wait for this giant cloud to kind of go over to where you need to go, but there is a skip where I don't have to wait. So let's see how it goes. It's somewhat difficult.
Yeah.
All right, and there it is.
I guess we're going through the second half, which is an actual auto scroller. I guess a fun little trivia fact is if you're Peachette in this level, you can do a double jump with her, which is her, and you can land, and you can actually keep the cloud from starting moving altogether, which saves no time, but is a cool show off. Now for Bowser Jr., another completely fair and balanced boss.
All right, there it is. So that looked easy, but one thing to point out is that Bowser Jr.'s hitbox is actually extremely unforgiving. There have been really insane clips of various runners from New Super Mario Bros. U or New Super Luigi U where it looks like runners hit Bowser Jr., but they either go completely through him, or they just get knocked out of hitting him, or you just get hit at the same time that you hit him. And it's a very disastrous mess. And if you end up not having an acorn throughout that fight, then the fight is completely random, even more random than Kamek, but like 10 times worse.
Yeah.
But thankfully, that didn't go terribly wrong.
Yeah, that went pretty well, I'd say. I think we have time for a donation while Bowser Jr. reaps his consequences.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. We have $100 from Tertiary Lanes that says "Save the Animals."
Yes, save the animals.
So I'm gonna be a little honest. If you want to kill the animals, you have over $1,000 difference. So So you're probably not going to get there unless you really start like selling it now. But don't let that stop you.
I like this chat.
But yeah, I also want to let people know that Gears has promised us that if someone is to donate a donation of $100 or more from this point on, or well, one-time offer, but she said that she would do her impression of Toad. So it's
okay.
pretty spot on. So like, you know, you can still put that to an incentive too. So that's like a 2-for-1.
All right, we got a good pattern. All right.
Yeah.
One of the things that actually went well in this run. So to explain, this level has raining fireballs. That there's like 3 patterns of raining fireballs, and I got the best one out of the 3, and it saves about 2 seconds over the worst pattern.
Yeah. Which, fun trivia fact: if we were in Mario U, we would get the normal exit and continue on, because this secret level would be a long auto scroller. But in Luigi U, there is no auto scroll, and there is no, and it's a pretty short level, so we just go straight to it and make sure we don't get hit by more raining fireballs.
Yeah, and this time the fireballs are not random in this level. They are on a cycle. Made a little bit of a mistake right there, and there is actually a faster strat through that level. However, it is extremely inconsistent because you don't want to play the level too fast, otherwise you will be too early on the cycle and you'll die.
Yeah.
All right, so coming up is 8- Castle, which normally in this level you have to ride an elevator through the level, but we're going to be skipping it. It's called elevator skip. In Mario speedruns, it is very notorious as being the hardest trick of the game, but it's not so bad here.
Yeah. In Luigi U, pretty much all you need is to make sure you get enough height, which it's real easy with the acorn.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever mentioned. I don't think we explained this yet, but I'm doing these spin jumps not for fun, but it's because when you have the acorn, the spin jump is the height of a triple jump, so it's very powerful in this game. Okay, yeah. That right there is a very YOLO strat. That jump is actually very specific, where it is not too high to where I hit the bomb, and not low enough so that I do not hit the spark. So it's a very difficult way of doing that second room, but we made it.
Also, for all the Super Mario Maker 2 players, Nintendo nerfed the acorn in Super Mario Maker 2 because you can't do a spin jump into a flight like mchan's been doing, because it allows you to do a lot of skips. If you in Super Mario Maker 2, if you do a spin jump, you can't go into flight. You can either do the double jump or land.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we're at the very last level. So I'm gonna try this. This recently new strat found by Matt Astix. Okay, there it is. So that saves 2 seconds over what used to be done. Normally in that level, you can actually control when Bowser Jr. comes down at you, and if your movement's very consistent, then he does the same actions every single time. So that right there, what I did was I grabbed the right side of Bowser Jr.'s clown car, and Bowser Jr. just moves really fast that you just get a bit of a speed boost throughout that level. It's crazy, but unfortunately it's not very consistent.
Yeah, he's trying to catch you, so he moves faster, but since you're attached to him, he just keeps moving.
Yeah. So also, that was the hardest boss in the entire game, and we just won.
Yay!
But in this game, because you jump so high, you can just do a regular jump over Bowser. Kind of a silly thing. One of the things that NSLU has that's easier than Mario are the bosses, just because you jump higher.
Yeah.
spoilers, that is not the end of the run. There's actually another phase to this. So, if all goes well, this should be a pretty fast fight.
Yeah. But yeah. First things, basically what this amounts to is we're going to steal from Bowser Jr., then play keep away. There's an early strat that mchan's going to go for that saves a second. If you fly into Bowser's or close to Bowser's face, he fires 2 fireballs. But if you get real close, he only fires the 1. That brings Bowser Jr. To the ground faster.
Yeah, you can keep explaining this fight. There's a lot to explain this fight, and there's not enough time.
Yeah, the simplest explanation is mchan's gonna keep the clown car, and he's gonna dodge Bowser, and then after the second hit, we'll be able to hit him immediately, which cuts out an entire phase. And if he can get back into the clown car again, which he did,
all right,
keep it again.
Time's coming up really soon.
Yeah, time he can hit him right there and win.
All right, 107.01. All right. Considering I got bad RNG throughout most of the run, I'd say it was pretty good. I'm really happy with my execution throughout the run.
Oh.
I apologize for the technical difficulty that I had early on, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the run anyway. And do you have anything you want to say?
Oh, that was a good run. That's honestly all I got.
Right. So if you're interested in knowing more about the run or even learning it, you can come onto my stream. I stream this game semi-regularly, along with other speed games, particularly most notably Zelda content. And or you could, I guess, join the Discord, and we'd be willing to help. And so with that, that is all I have to say. So stay tuned for upcoming runs. I will be back tomorrow night with Link's Awakening, and I'm really excited to present that run. And stay tuned for Super Mario Bros. 2 Randomizer, I believe. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's correct. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Yes, thank you.